today we're doing a photo shoot. You guys really liked the last one, so I was like, why not? In today's shoot, I'm shooting with my Canon 5D Mark II and then my 50mm f1.4 lens. I'll try to explain also the settings because I know that was something you guys wanted to see last time. What are all the settings? So I'll try to remember to say that, but we're just gonna get going. I feel like, oh, we're getting recorded. Sorry! I'll have you stand right here. This is so good, and it smells really good too. Right now I'm shooting on, my shutter speed is 640. I'm at 2.2 aperture. My ISO is my ISO is 125. So there you go. That's really pretty. Okay, cool. And then I'll have you put that hand down. That would be pretty. Oh yeah. So like this is kind of. Ooh, I like that one back there. Hello. Okay, so we're at a new location. So my settings are at, my shutter speed's 2500, my aperture is 2.2, and my ISO is 125, and that's really what I've been shooting on. My white balance is on daylight, but like, doesn't really matter what your white balance is on, because you can just change it later in post. Let's get shooting. Oh, this is so beautiful.
And we can always rotate that way.
Oh yeah. Yes, actually that's really pretty. Okay. So instead of making this into a ball, I'm gonna have you, so do you see how I kind of smooth her arms, or her, excuse me. So I'm having your hands balled up like a fist, like about to fight you on the street in the alleyway, meet me there. We're gonna do silent prayer, like pray to the Lord, thank you Jesus. That's a tip, you just don't want it to be like this overexposed mass, if that makes sense. Okay, so one tip that I do have is it's really important to be aware of the shoulders. You don't want them to be just a straight line, and you want to have some angle. So on Jessica, here you can flip it to her. So can you like kind of square your shoulders up? I don't really want to have just a square line. I might like move this one down a little bit or like shift them. It just really depends. You'll have to kind of make the call on which shoulder you want to adjust, but that's something that I recommend because then it also will extend the neck, especially if you're shooting more from this side, to have her shoulder extended down and then her jaw gets kind of tilted out. So that's a tip for you. Awesome. Oh, a lot of people were complaining about how I kept touching the model's hair. They're like, ask for consent. Yeah, like do that off camera, but obviously be like, can I adjust your hair? They will say yes, that's their job. Anyways, I just wanted to say that. Sorry, Alex is like, what the heck are you talking about? Like,
no. I'm not judging.
But yeah, I mean, obviously ask if you can adjust the hair, but it really is your job to adjust it as a photographer, in my opinion, especially if you're kind of playing the role of stylist as well. Some people didn't like that. I think that's what you should do. Do you agree?
I agree.
Exactly.
I mean, if you take the pictures and then get them back and your hair's...
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's also on the other person to say if they don't want you to do that too. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm not comfortable
like,
having you touch my face.
But like if it's a model, like a professional model versus like a senior, you know, I'm gonna ask a senior for sure, like, sorry, but like if it's a model, I'll be like, can I touch your face? Yeah. And then for the rest of the time, I'll adjust it. If it's a senior, I might not be like as micromanage it as much, but I still think it's your job. It's important. You gotta pay attention to those details. So I kind of want to give you like something to hold. Like a branch.
What are you grabbing?
Sometimes you just gotta, you know, crime and fraud, I'm sorry. So something I like to do that I mentioned in my last video, which if you haven't watched it, you can go ahead and watch it, it's in the link below, is shooting through things that are in the environment. So like this cherry blossom branch, shooting through things that are in the environment. It adds an extra dimension and also looks very natural. Also, it's good if there's like kind of some color that you might not want to be shooting with. Like, you know, I'm not really a fan of these bright green mossy trees, so I'm just going to use this. I'm not using the leaf, I'm just using the white to kind of cover that up and camouflage it, and it's also less work that I have to do in post, so just shoot through it. You just have to practice. Okay,
Don't get the sneakers.
I know, there's like little kids with shoes over here, and I'm just like, that's not good. Okay. Over in this area, I don't really want to get all of the ground. It's not very pretty. So what will I do? I'll take this and shoot through it, and I'll kind of cover that up, kind of blur it out. That's beautiful. So just like that, very angelic. What if we have you sitting in this little like this? Okay, so framing. Let's talk about framing, kids. Alex is learning a lot right now. Okay, so I love the cherry blossom trees right over there. I love the blue water, especially with the white dress that she's wearing. So I'm gonna look for something to frame the image with, and that would be these two trees. I think that this looks pretty nice. It's just a little chunk. Okay, so hello. So one thing I do want to mention is when I'm shooting something like this, the horizon line, if you will, is kind of where the earth is meeting the water. So I want to have Jessica still underneath the horizon line because I don't want anything cutting through her head. I talked about this in my last video, but I'm going to show you in a before and an after example right now on the screen. Actually, I might just do it right here. Okay, so see how the horizon line is still right there? I don't want it to be cutting through her, so I'm going to encapsulate her kind of like underneath it. So not that, I just think it looks really nice. It hides the distractions. You know how it be. The tricky thing with this kind of stuff is you want to make sure that there's no branches really like running through her head or anything where it looks like she's getting stabbed aggressively. So yes, it's so good. Oh my gosh, do you want to see? This is you. What? That's so pretty.
That is so pretty.
Crying. Like lower me to my grave. Okay, let's continue. This is such a good shoot. I just love it when it's so good. I'm actually gonna scoot back a little bit. Oh, this is good. Okay. I gotta get in this zone.
I love the white flowers with the white dress.
You know, I'm like crying. I'm like weeping. Okay, it's really pretty. I'm gonna have you bring that front shoulder down a little bit. Yeah. So I'm kind of looking at the framing over here especially. I just love how that branch is coming down. So I'm going to kind of frame her with that branch. Just look for things in your environment that you can frame her with. That's beautiful. So, like, whimsical. Why are there so many, like, families around here tonight?
Morning stroll.
Yeah, that morning stroll.
It's afternoon though.
Exactly. Stunning. We're just so good. We're so good. Okay, let me change my card, and I'm like crying. This is so pretty. Oh my gosh. So as you can see, it kind of creates an, you know, it frames her. Like, you would never know we're just literally on the side of the highway. Like, you don't need to live in this amazing French countryside to get just like dope photos, you know what I mean? You can really use anywhere you live, whoever you are, you can always create really pretty things, as long as you just kind of keep that open mind and eye. Look at how perfect this location is. Adios. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, here's your hairband. Do not forget. We will see you in our next video, on our next shoot. If you have, I don't know why I'm just like, this is like my child though. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer them in my next video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr. I'll have everything in the description box below. I'll also have Alex's link and then Jessica's links as well, so go check them out. Thank you guys so much. It's gonna look so awesome, and here are some clips of the end result. So until next time, I'll see you guys later. Hey everybody! everyone. So I realized that I never answered the questions that I said that I would answer in my Instagram post for my next video because you all care so much. So I thought I would just answer them here on my computer. Sorry, it's so ratchet. Like, the screen is moving around. Stop shaking. There's not an earthquake. So Medi_nah says, do you have any tips for an absolute beginner? I do have a Nikon 3100. I don't know if it's like 3100, 3100. But I don't really know. I really only take basic photos. For an absolute beginner, I would say learn how to shoot in manual would probably be the most important thing so that you can really use your camera to its full potential, and also shoot in RAW. Alexandra Rodolin, I'm gonna stop trying to pronounce the names. What's your favorite thing to shoot? And to that I would say cute boys, but I don't know any. What lens do you use for your portraits, and do you shoot in film? I don't shoot in film. I'd love to learn, but it's not really on my list of things to do at the moment. Maybe eventually. I use a 50mm a Canon 50mm f1.4 lens. I understand a 50mm isn't like ideal for portraits. I should have an 85, but honestly, like, I do some pretty dope stuff with the 50, so that's what I use. I'd recommend it. The like Magic Plastic or like Nifty 50, whatever. You could start out with it at 50mm f1.8, and I think that's a great lens. Yes, it kind of distorts the image. Just go into Lightroom, use a lens correction. You know, Maston Labs, that's what I use, is their lens correction setting, and then you're good. You know, whatever. How do you get a photographer to mentor you? Email them, and don't just email one, email like 300, and hopefully someone will get back to you. How do you edit your images? I use Lightroom, and then I use the Visco packs. My favorite right now is pack 6, and I also like pack 4, I think it is. But if you would like me to make a video, whoa, I just got really close, sorry. If you would like me to make a video where I'm kind of editing some of my images, I would totally do that. I'll ask one of my brothers to like show me how to record the screen and stuff, but I'm not super technical is the thing. Like, I didn't go to school for photography, so I just like don't want like a bunch of old guys like commenting and being like, you suck. So I don't really know what to say to you, but I know I'm dope, so whatever. How to find the right pose and lighting. So lighting just all depends, you know. I like to shoot backlit. I don't like any like harsh shadows. I also don't shoot like indirect sunlight, so something overcast is nice. And with poses, it depends on everybody. Know your angles, know yourself. We all have different angles because our faces are all different, and our bodies are all different. So it really depends, and you have to develop that eye for what's going to be the most flattering on someone. I feel like after all these years, I've developed that, and I can make anyone look as good as they do in the mirror as they can in the camera, because I know sometimes you try to take like a good, let's say your makeup's good, and you're like, I gotta take a selfie of this, and it's just like, wow, like, delete, you know what I mean? So you kind of have to develop that eye. Shooting from above, I talk about that in my last video. I give a lot of tips on portrait photography and like universal posing. Go check that out. It's in the description box below. How do you decide on the settings for your camera? You learn to use your camera and learn to shoot in manual. It's really, really important, guys, and it's really not that difficult. Best place to take pics to get good lighting and a great backdrop. Okay, all of these are about lighting. I only shoot in natural light, and I think that there are a ton of resources out there, especially on YouTube, about shooting in natural light. So I don't want to talk for 1,000 years about lighting because I just shoot in natural light. But getting a great backdrop, I think the most important thing is you don't need the whole space to look great. I talk about that in this video, talk about that in the previous video. You don't need the whole space to look great. You just need you just need enough to fill the frame. Okay, the last question that I'm going to be answering, and then I'm going to let you guys go. Where do you find inspiration? I find inspiration like every day I walk down the street. Those were all the questions. This video is so unorganized. You know what? I don't really care. You guys seem to like it. Leave any questions that you want me to answer in the next video, and I'll answer them like for real, like when I'm on location. And wow, I'm so sorry. This is like an earthquake shaking. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching. My nose is runny.